With a part of me I loved and a part of me I hated, I did my best to remain unjaded, but doing so proved harder than expected when I was my own worst critic and it felt like years since I'd given myself a good review. I realized it wasn't me that was a problem, but rather my perspective. See, I'd polarized the two sides of my mind into categories of good and bad. I thought to myself, the good side of me was real, and the bad was a manifestation of my fixable flaws. I disconnected them from what I considered to be me in order to feel better about who I was, but in reality, it's so much more gray and so much less black and white. You cannot divide yourself into a half that's wrong and a half that's right. In doing so, you make it impossible to obtain self-love, when half of yourself is so unwanted. The flaws that you see are not simply on the surface, but are rather rooted into who you are. We often mistake our flaws for functional defects, thinking that they take away from our greatness and make us less apt to be loved, when in fact it's just the opposite. Through them being embedded in the fabric of ourselves, they reinforce our framework, making us more resilient, more human, and therefore adding to our greatness. Realize that you are an enigma, a complex web of emotions, memories, and feelings, amalgamated perfectly by your unique experiences to create the human you see looking back at you in the mirror. Look back. What experiences have molded you the most? The ones that take your soul and hold it down, forcing you to struggle free, to overcome an obstacle. Those are the experiences that make your soul grow stronger. The feeling of pride is only encountered through self-improvement, which means persevering through some chaos. But if you prefer contentment over pride, then feel free to just stay comfortable. A year ago, I had a math tutor who taught me so much more than math. His soul was one too fragile for this world, and because of this, it was torn by cruel depression, and it faded from our company on January 19th, 2017. Before he left an impact on me with his words of wisdom. Riley told me to think of life as a topographical map. The good experiences represented by the towering mountaintops and the bad by the ocean's depths. He asked me which type of map I'd prefer. Prairies, Rockies, valleys galore. We came to the conclusion that a map with mountains, hills, oceans, and fields is better than the simple flatlands. There's so much more to explore in a person that has lived a life of both hardship and glory. So I say to you, the listener of this poem, to allow your flaws to carve craters into your landscape and your assets to make mountains. See for yourself that they will not depreciate its value, but instead will make it a more marvelous, intricate thing for new friends to explore and old ones to admire.